The world of nutrition is constantly developing, and it seems like every few weeks there are new information and facts about the latest diet and the new best way to eat and live by coming out. All these upcoming diets and trends can lead to confusion and skepticism, which brings us to the topic of today's video. The plant-based diet, or the so-called vegan diet, is thriving since a few years now, contradicting some of the strongest beliefs concerning food and diet we have. For years, we were taught that we need to drink milk to have healthy bones, that we need meat to build muscle and be strong, and most importantly, to stay healthy. With new documentaries like The Game Changers or What the Health promoting a plant-based diet, many people, even some of the best professional athletes around the world, decided to change their eating habits, claiming that they are feeling more energetic than ever before. However, are those people exceptions, or is what these documentaries and athletes claim true, and the plant-based diet actually is the healthiest way to eat? Should even more athletes consider changing their eating habits and start following a plant-based diet? A plant-based diet is free from all animal products and comes down to fruits and vegetables, legumes, nuts, and basically everything else that comes from the ground. For athletes, the most important aspect of their diet is of course that it supports their performance. In fact, what an athlete eats immediately before an athletic effort has a major impact on his performance. Training and nutrition work hand in hand. So let's first take a look at some nutrition fundamentals. Depending on the sport, athletes come in all sizes and shapes. A gymnast, for example, has a totally different body composition than a marathon runner, since both sports require different attributes. While gymnasts are mostly trained for strength, flexibility, and agility, marathon runners train for endurance. Both trainings will look completely different, so it only makes sense that their nutritional needs aren't the same either. Therefore, a perfect nutrition plan that fits every single athlete doesn't exist. Finding the most suitable diet for an athlete is a very personal approach, and it requires a deep knowledge of the needs of the human body, the athletic demands of the concerned sport, and the athlete's preferences. In general, however, there are two main food categories every person needs to stay healthy: macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients are those that the body needs in large amounts, like carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. These provide the body with energy. Micronutrients, on the other hand, are those that the body needs in smaller amounts, like vitamins and minerals. Carbs are broken down into glucose and are our main energy source. When not needed for energy, glucose is stored in our muscles. Studies have shown that low intakes of carbs are often linked to reduced performance and training intensity. Carbs are very important for muscle growth too. When glycogen levels in our muscles are high during training, our body takes that as an energy source, instead of breaking down already existing muscle tissue for energy. Eating enough carbs, especially before working out, therefore minimizes muscle protein breakdown. Fat is a source of essential fatty acids that the body cannot make itself and help to absorb vitamin A, D, and E. As a general guideline, it is recommended to eat around 1 to 1.2 grams of mostly unsaturated fats per kilogram of body weight daily. Saturated fats and cholesterol affect each other. Both have serious consequences on our body and health. Cholesterol is a fatty substance found in our blood. There are two types of it. HDL cholesterol is needed to build healthy cells. High levels of it can even lower the risk for heart disease. LDL cholesterol, however, makes up most of our body's cholesterol, and too high levels of it in our bloodstream causes our arteries to get clogged. Eating a lot of food high in saturated fats raises LDL cholesterol levels. Fat then builds up inside the walls of our arteries as plaque. This artery damage is called atherosclerosis. It disturbs our oxygen-rich blood flow to our organs and muscles, which then of course impairs athletic performance. Animal products are very high in both cholesterol and saturated fats, and studies have shown that eating animal products every day over a long period increases the risk for most forms of cancer and heart disease. Plant foods, on the other hand, don't contain any cholesterol and are mostly low in saturated fats. They are proven to have the opposite effect, thus improving artery function and increasing blood flow. In fact, the only diet that has ever been shown to actually reverse heart disease is a whole food plant-based diet. Another illness connected to saturated fats is diabetes type 2. Diabetes is not caused by eating too much sugar or carbs as many tend to believe. Diabetes is caused by a diet that builds up the amount of fat in our blood, which causes insulin resistance. The sugar we naturally get from food can then not get into the cells where it belongs and therefore builds up in the blood. So diabetes is actually caused by a diet that is too high in saturated fats. In general, comparing an animal-based diet to a whole food plant-based diet, the latter is the healthier one, since it is lower in both saturated fats and cholesterol. However, it is important to note that not eating any animal products doesn't necessarily mean that the person is eating healthy. There are many highly processed plant-based foods on the market that are high in saturated fats and salt and therefore have the same effects on the body than animal products. The type of plant-based diet referred to in this video is known as a whole food plant-based diet, so a plant-based diet focused especially on unprocessed food. At the same time, it doesn't mean that someone who eats animal products necessarily gets cancer or diabetes, but the chances of getting these are extremely high. Findings from the largest study on diet and cancer revealed that eating just one chicken breast per day increases the risk of some of the fastest growing cancers by up to 280%. A common concern about following a plant-based diet is that they might lack sufficient protein. Protein is broken down into amino acids, which are crucial for repair, recovery, and growth of muscles. Therefore, having enough protein available, especially after working out, is important to recover fast and efficiently. According to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, a good rule of thumb is to aim for around 1.2 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily. One of the biggest misconceptions in sports nutrition is that we have to eat animal protein to get big and strong. Many people share the belief that proteins contained in plants don't have the same quality, that they are incomplete and can't give us all the amino acids our body needs. This, however, isn't true. Plants contain all the essential amino acids, and research comparing plant and animal protein has shown that to gain strength and muscle mass, the source of amino acids doesn't matter. As long as the right amount is consumed, a well-balanced plant-based diet can provide us with all the protein we need. At the end, all protein found in animal products are actually coming from plants, since that is from where animals get it. Only plants are able to take nitrogen from the air, break these molecules apart and incorporate that nitrogen into amino acids to then make protein. That means that all protein originates in plants, and the ones we get from animals are simply recycled plant protein. As already mentioned, plant proteins have better nutritional values than animal proteins, which are mostly high in saturated fats and cholesterol. To make a comparison, 100 grams of seitan has 28 grams of protein and only 0.3 grams of saturated fats, while pork has 26 grams of protein and 8 grams of saturated fats. At the beginning of my research, I created a survey where 73 athletes in my surroundings from different sports were asked about their eating habits. I wanted to find out what athletes think their diet needs to consist of and what assumptions they have regarding a plant-based diet. Looking at the results, 47 athletes, so the majority, follow an animal-based diet and meat eat every single day. While most athletes say that they pay attention to the kind of food they eat and that their diet is important to them, 53% stated that they've never informed themselves about a plant-based diet before. 38% agreed that animal products are necessary to be strong and to build muscle. It is time to put an end to the idea that following a plant-based diet and being a strong and fit athlete isn't possible. It is just nonsense that we need to eat meat and eggs to build muscle. Over the centuries, we evolved to be omnivores, eating everything. In the past few decades though, because of improving living conditions, this has been far overblown. For most people, it is normal to eat meat every single day, and many don't know what effects that has on their health. Eating animal products on a regular basis has severe consequences on performance and health and increases the risk for heart disease, cancer, and diabetes type 2. However, eating cheese or meat once per week won't be tremendous either. It is important to stop labeling food as bad or unhealthy. No food is actually bad, it's the quantity that makes them unhealthy for us. While the main function of food is to fuel our body, it isn't only good for that. Food brings people together, and it is important to enjoy it and to have a healthy relationship with it, without being obsessive about eating healthy all the time. Of course, eating a pizza with cheese won't do much good to our physical health, but it is important for our well-being in general. The perfect diet for everyone doesn't exist. Every athlete is different, with a different body, different needs, and different preferences. Therefore, every athlete has to find his own diet that works for him and fits his lifestyle. Nutrition is a matter of finding the right balance. Making sure to hit the right macros and micros, and most of all to listen to our body is the most important, no matter what diet we choose to follow at the end of the day. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and have a better understanding regarding plant-based diets. Stay healthy, keep it going, and see you around.